Good evening, Zimbabwe. This is Change Radio News. Today is Thursday, the 8th of May, 2025. The news is read by CP Wespanda. Here are the news headlines for today. Zanu employs intimidation tactics to garner support for 2030 agenda. Regional spotlight on Bushiri and Chivayo in cross-border fraud probe. Mnangagwa tightens grip on military and security services. And now for the news in detail. On May the 6th, 2025, Zanu PF Councillor Vengai Muchini announced that only party members supporting Emmerson Mnangagwa will receive social welfare food assistance. Those from opposition parties and anti-2030 Zanu PF members will be excluded. This statement made during a Zanu PF field day in Bikita highlights the politicization of food aid. Since 1980, Zanu PF has a history of misusing food assistance for political gain. Here's Zanu PF Councillor Muchini speaking.
Zanu PF atashaya chikapu this time. Vesosha wose vachaya kunyora asi mapepa hatidi kuti vaende nawo. Mapepa achasara kuno tomagarira pasina utungamiri tichiona kuti isisi uyu ndo kwa Gesau, uyu ndo kwa Mushekwa, uyu ndo kwa Gopo. Tichibvisa vese kusvikira veZanu PF vari kushungurudzirwa Vision 2030 vawana. Handiti ndinoda kukutendai vanhu veparwambiwa vekumakari branch.
South African authorities have intensified investigations into fugitive Malawian preacher Shepherd Bushiri and controversial Zimbabwean businessman Wicknell Chivayo over alleged cross-border fraud and money laundering. The case is gaining regional attention as it was raised at the 15th Commonwealth Regional Conference for Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Africa, now underway in Cape Town. Hosted by South Africa's Special Investigating Unit, the summit brings together 21 African nations under the theme Enhancing Inclusive Participation to Combat Corruption. The Zimbabwe dictator Emmerson Mnangagwa is reportedly tightening his grip on the military and security services with immediate key appointments. According to reliable sources, Mnangagwa has appointed retired Brigadier General Usher Walter Tafumanei to the position of Chief of Staff with subsequent promotion to Major General. Tafumanei served as Deputy Director General Operations of Zimbabwe Central Intelligence Organization, CIO, until recently. He has been in the army before but was removed during the tenure of Constantine Chiwenga as Zimbabwe Defense Forces Commander. He is reportedly not on good terms with VP Chiwenga. He also ran covert political operatives under CIO, notably the establishment of the Forever Associates of Zimbabwe, FAZ. President Nelson Chamisa's news platform, the Chamisa News Channel, has garnered 67,171 viewers and followers since its launch on April 8, 2024. Today marks 1 year and 1 month since its inception. The growth in followers reflects the citizens' desires for messages of hope and inspiration centered around political, social, and biblical themes, among other contemporary issues. President Chamisa uses this platform to engage with his supporters who eagerly await his return to active politics. As Change Radio, we encourage citizens to follow this channel. Mr. Thomas Mbetu, a resident of Masvingo Urban, expressed his enthusiasm, stating, "I am inspired by the messages from President Chamisa, whether he posts, texts, pictures, or videos." Renowned journalist Blessed Mhlanga, who was recently released after 73 days in incarceration without bail or trial, gave a highly emotional comment and released an official statement through his lawyer, Doug Coulthard. Let's hear what Mr. Mhlanga had to say.
Look, I feel indifferent. I was not supposed to be here in the first place. It's general knowledge. And after having 73 days of my life being robbed, I'm indifferent. But I have a statement, and I think Doug will issue the statement on my behalf. But I'm just happy to see my family. I'm happy to see my family. I've been made aware of some statements. That the reason I'm out is because there's justice in this country. I'm worried about that statement. I'm extremely worried about that statement. But under advice from my lawyers, I'm not going to say much, but I'm extremely worried about that statement around the issues of there being justice in this country. Because clearly Section 277 of the Criminal Codification Act is clear on how people who work for an organization, if it is being charged, must be treated. Right? It says that any person it establishes how to charge corporate or juristic persons. HSCV is a juristic person. It is a registered corporate person with its own legal persona and can be charged as such. You can't take an employee of an organization and charge them in their personal capacity for work that you allege that they did while it's working for them. And it's clear, it's tried law. And everyone who has studied or cared to study law, who I believe are the prosecutors and the judges know.
And now for Mhlanga's official statement through his lawyer, Doug Coulthard.
It's a statement issued by Blessed Mhlanga. Dear countrymen, fellow journalists, UZ students, friends across the world, it has been long since I wrote to you. My fellow brothers and sisters, all of you, regardless of your nationality or geographical location, I write to you, your minds and hearts. Today, I have been released on bail, free, but not free. In the next few weeks, I will share the horrors I endured at Harare Remand Prison. But for now, let me focus on my family. You are my family. For 72 days, I remained in pre-trial detention, from where I was kept, resultantly failing to provide for my family with fatherly love and care, which I ordinarily should. I am, however, happy that my day for freedom has come. Today I am free to hold my wife's hand for no reason, to kiss her good night or good morning, even at worst of times, free to take my children to school and consult on their academic and sporting progress. That I am free to run up and down the street screaming and kicking as I cheer my kids on their path to growth. For this is what fathers do. It is these little moments, clothed in craziness and little bother, that shape future generations. These are the joys of life that I have been robbed of over the past 72 days of my life as I languished in prison, unjustifiably so. My alleged offense is now known to all, I presume. I'm accused of having transmitted or broadcast messages from a press conference, not interview as alleged in some sections, in which at the time a Zanu PF Central Committee member was expressing his views. I deny ever transmitting the messages by Blessed Geza in any shape or form. The state says it has a witness who saw me transmit these messages. I will not address this matter. This is one for trial. Bail, which is a right, has been denied to me 3 times. Twice at the Magistrates Court and once by High Court Judge Gibson Mandaza, who yesterday admitted me to bail. 2 days ago, admitted me to bail. Not only that, but I have also been denied.
Tensions are rising in Malipati Chirezi South over the controversial agri-hub project acceptance. Intimidation and arrests have escalated as the local community confronts Southworld over the contentious agro-hub project. Imposed without community consent, the project has sparked fears among residents. They are reportedly being forced to sign forms endorsing the project. Despite many community meetings and reports, citizens allege that they have been silenced through threats, including the withdrawal of government food assistance. The Agri-Hub project claims that landowners have voluntarily donated land for the development, which locals vehemently contest. Many fear repercussions from local leaders who are reportedly bribed by the Southworld, and they receive monthly benefits and other incentives. Parliament session has restarted with questions over who will bring the impeachment process against President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Parliament was on unplanned break after Mr. Mnangagwa was feeling the heat of possible impeachment and gave an order to put Parliament on break. A group of war veterans led by Blessed Geza is advocating for Mr. Mnangagwa's resignation from office. They accuse him of failing to lead the nation and dining with corrupt officials. On the economic front, Zimbabwe's biggest retail chain, OK Zimbabwe, is in deep financial trouble and is closing stores while trying to raise $30 million to stay afloat. The company has shut down 6 outlets, blaming a cash crunch, rising debts, and the impact of the underperforming ZiG currency. Suppliers are now demanding payment in US dollars and refusing to accept the ZiG, making it hard for the retailers to restock shelves. And in our community news, in a further show of open neglect of duty by government, Scott Sakupwanya has opened his own medical center and pregnancy facility to assist pregnant women and vulnerable patients in Mabuku and surrounding areas. The medical facility, known as Scotland Medical and Maternity Center, offers free medical services to pregnant mothers, the elderly, and those with chronic illnesses and other health services since March. This really shows that the state is captured, as his counterpart in Zanu PF, Kudakwashe Tagwirei, is also openly boasting of having a hospital offering free health services when all over the country all government hospitals are charging for services and are without medication. The government has blocked more than 4,000 nurses seeking employment abroad after withholding their verification orders. The verification letters, which cost $300, are a prerequisite for nurses to secure jobs overseas. Despite paying thousands of dollars, the nurses have not yet received their documents. This government stance is a blatant show of force. On May the 7th and 8th, 2025, the Masvingo Lions Club is offering free eye testing and distributing spectacles at the Mazoroze Clinic in Micheke, Masvingo. Additionally, they will provide free diabetes and blood pressure testing. This initiative has been warmly received by the residents of Masvingo. With eye care often too costly in both private and public hospitals, hundreds of residents will benefit from this program. There are 2 qualified medical practitioners, one local and another one from abroad, helping patients under Lions Club. In international news, black smoke billowed from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel at 9 p.m. yesterday evening, signaling that no pope was elected on the first ballot of the conclave convened to choose the next leader of the Catholic Church after the death of Pope Francis. The smoke appeared roughly 4 hours after 133 cardinals entered the Sistine Chapel, took their solemn oath of secrecy, and formally began the centuries-old process of selecting a successor to Pope Francis to lead the Church's 1.4 billion members worldwide. Since no candidate received the required two-thirds majority, 89 votes, the day concluded without a decision. South African firebrand opposition political Julius Malema says he has been denied a visa to attend a conference in the United Kingdom on the 10th of May. In a leaked letter to Malema's deputy, the United Kingdom High Commissioner to South Africa, Anthony Philipson, said the Home Office had been unable to process his visa application in time for his trip. Our reporter gives us more.
Malema said the UK had no substantial justification for his decision, and he saw it as an attempt to silence a dissenting political perspective. Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters EFF party, is a fierce critic for what he sees as Western imperialism and also advocates the nationalism of white-owned land in South Africa. A Home Office spokesperson told the BBC that they do not comment on individual cases. In a post on X, the EFF said the High Commission had actively delayed the processing and approval of their leader's visa so that he could not speak at the University of Cambridge on 10 May. He had been invited by the university's African Society to address its Africa Together conference, the EFF added. Reporting for Change Radio in Harare, this is Majaham Kamlandaba.
And in sports news, the installation of bucket seats at the National Sports Stadium is complete. This was confirmed during a Wednesday tour attended by ZIFA President Nqobile Magwizi and board member Brighton Ushendibaba. The Sports and Recreation Commission also announced that work on the pitch begins Thursday with the new turf expected in 10 weeks. Other areas of the stadium still require renovation. Zimbabwe national football teams have been forced to play their home matches in other countries due to unavailability of international standard-approved stadiums. FC Platinum coach Norman Mapeza has clamped down from his high-handedness and yesterday met with Sticky Chikandiwa, the journalist at the center of the post-match interview uproar. Under the watch of Munyarazi, FC Platinum spokesperson stepped in by directive from Mimosa Mine that owns FC Platinum because the company believed the incident portrayed the company in bad light. Chikandiwa confirmed having met the coach and having shared the same passion about the issue and agreed more than disagreed. Louis Enrique's Paris Saint-Germain advanced to the UEFA Champions League after beating Arsenal by 2-1 in the second leg of the semi-final fixture. French giants will lock horns against Inter Milan on the 31st of May at the Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany. And to end the news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. Zanu employs intimidation tactics to garner support for 2030 agenda. Regional spotlight on Bushiri and Chivayo in cross-border fraud probe. Mnangagwa tightens grip on military and security services. And that concludes our news bulletin for today. We thank you for listening. From myself, CP Westbanda, and the entire team at Change Radio, we wish you a blessed night.